Automate Your Busywork, original book by Aytekin Tank. In today's fast-paced world, many of us are overwhelmed by an endless stream of repetitive, time-consuming tasks that drain our energy and distract us from more meaningful work. In Automate Your Busywork, entrepreneur and productivity expert Aytekin Tank argues that you don't have to resign yourself to handling tedious chores that consume your time and mental resources. Instead, you can leverage automation tools to free up space for focusing on work that truly matters to you. This guide discusses Tank's advice for conquering monotonous labor and achieving greater productivity. We'll explain how to identify routine tasks and how they fit into large processes, design efficient processes to streamline your work, implement digital tools to handle routine duties automatically, refine your automated systems for optimal performance. Additionally, we'll expand upon Tank's ideas with insights and actionable advice from productivity and automation technology experts. If you're like most people, you probably believe that time-consuming tasks are simply part of your job and that it's not possible to focus primarily on meaningful creative work unless you have a team of assistants to handle your routine duties. But what if there's a way to eliminate much of the repetitive labor that consumes your day? In Automate Your Busywork, entrepreneur and productivity expert Aytekin Tank argues that by leveraging automation tools, you can delegate routine tasks to digital systems, increase productivity, and focus on projects that truly matter to you. This guide discusses Tank's advice for conquering routine tasks and boosting productivity in two parts. In the first part, we'll explain why automating routine tasks is key to improving efficiency, productivity, and job satisfaction. In the second part, we'll present Tank's step-by-step process for automating your routine tasks. In our commentary, we'll expand upon Tank's ideas with insights and actionable advice from productivity and automation technology experts. Part 1. Why automate? In this part of the guide, we'll first explain the downsides of manually handling routine tasks. Then, we'll outline the benefits of automating such tasks. This information will help you recognize the value of automation and motivate you to take advantage of it in your work. The negative effects of manually handling routine tasks. According to Tank, there's no benefit to manually handling routine tasks. Rather, engaging in such tasks creates three negative effects that stifle efficiency, productivity, and job satisfaction. 1. It fragments your attention. 2. It creates a false sense of productivity. 3. It leads to errors and bottlenecks. Let's explore each effect in more detail. Negative effect. 1. It fragments your attention. Handling routine tasks often requires frequent switching between different activities throughout the day. This is because such tasks tend to be quickly completed but numerous, leading to constant transitions between activities. For example, if you have toe check and respond to emails throughout the day, you might switch between this task and other activities multiple times within an hour. Tank argues that this constant task switching wastes time and drains your mental energy, making it difficult to focus on complex problems or creative work. As a result, you're more prone to frustration and burnout. Sidebar. Why does task switching lead to frustration and burnout? Brian Tracy, Eat That Frog, explains that your brain can only focus on one thing at a time. And each time you switch your attention, it takes 17 minutes to totally focus on your new task. This means that the more you switch your attention between tasks, the more time and energy you waste trying and failing to achieve the intense focus that creative, complex work requires. As a result, you feel tired and busy, but you don't make meaningful progress on your work. Negative effect number 2, it creates a false sense of productivity. According to Tank, completing numerous small tasks creates an illusion of accomplishment that masks the fact that you're neglecting more important work. You might feel productive each time you cross a routine item off your to-do list, but these small accomplishments rarely contribute to your long-term goals or career growth. Sidebar: Gary Keller, The One Thing, adds that task switching reduces your motivation to maintain focus on complicated tasks because it makes you feel good. He explains that you get a little jolt of dopamine, a pleasurable neurochemical, each time you shift attention toward a new task. This neurochemical reward system trains your brain to prioritize short and simple tasks over complex ones. In other words, the more often you experience the pleasure of task switching, the more difficult it becomes to focus on complex tasks or goals that don't provide the same immediate gratification. Negative effect 3. It leads to errors and bottlenecks. Tank explains that the more routine tasks you take on, the more fragmented your focus becomes, making you prone to mistakes due to fatigue, distraction, or simple human oversight. These mistakes often require additional time and energy to correct, further reducing your productivity. Additionally, if your workload grows, manually handling such tasks becomes increasingly unsustainable. This creates bottlenecks in your workflow, slowing down important processes and limiting your ability to take on new opportunities or focus on high-value work. How automation boosts productivity. Now that you understand the downsides of manually handling routine tasks, let's explore how automating them can address these issues and improve your work life. According to Tank, leveraging automation tools creates 5 benefits that compound over time. 1. It frees up time and mental energy. 2. It increases accuracy. 3. It achieves more. 4. It offers data-driven insights. 5. It improves job satisfaction. Let's explore each of these benefits in detail. Benefit number 1, it frees up time and mental energy. Tank explains that delegating routine tasks to automated systems reduces your workload and decreases the need to switch between tasks. This results in fewer interruptions, enabling you to focus on complex problems or creative projects. Sidebar: Daniel Levitin at The Organized Mind explains that our brains have limited working memory capacity, which gets overloaded easily when we try to keep track of numerous tasks. By handling the mental burden of routine task management, automation acts as an external memory system that frees up cognitive resources and enhances focus. Benefit 2, it increases accuracy. According to Tank, automated systems perform routine tasks with greater precision and reliability than humans, reducing errors and the need for time-consuming corrections. Sidebar: while automation can increase accuracy, Don Norman, The Design of Everyday Things, cautions that poorly designed systems can introduce errors. This occurs when automated processes are confusing, provide little feedback, or don't work as users expect them to. For example, an email system that automatically archives messages without notifying users. Such design flaws lead to misunderstandings and misuse of the system. Benefit number 3, it achieves more. Automated systems can handle an increased volume of tasks without requiring proportional increases in time or effort. Tank adds that these systems can work around the clock, handling tasks even when you're not actively working. Sidebar: does automation's ability to achieve more have a positive or negative impact on employment? This has been widely debated by economists, technology experts, and forecasters. Proponents argue that automation enables companies to grow faster, which creates more jobs for those who can perform creative and strategic tasks that machines can't replicate. On the other hand, critics warn that automation's capacity to operate 24/7 will cause unemployment, especially for those whose work consists entirely of replicable tasks. Benefit number 4, it offers data-driven insights. Tank says that many automation tools provide analytics that can help you identify patterns, bottlenecks, and further opportunities for optimizing your work processes. Sidebar: automation experts clarify that these analytics don't just offer a retrospective view of data. Rather, their capacity to assimilate both historical and real-time data enables them to predict future trends, identify anomalies, and flag areas needing intervention. As a result, they provide analytics that aren't just reactive, but proactively guide process optimization. Benefit number 5, it improves job satisfaction. Eliminating tedious tasks allows you to focus on the aspects of your job that you find more meaningful and engaging. According to Tank, this naturally enhances your ability to come up with innovative ideas and approaches in your work. Sidebar: Col Newport, Deep Work, clarifies how creating time to focus on meaningful tasks increases innovation and leads to greater satisfaction. Deeply focusing on challenging or important tasks engages higher cognitive functions like analysis, synthesis, and ideation. This kind of work is inherently rewarding because it helps you solve your most complex problems. The kind that, according to Newport, yield the greatest breakthroughs and satisfaction when solved. Part 2, a step-by-step process to automate routine tasks. Now that you understand the benefits of automation, we'll walk you through Tank's 5-step process for automating routine tasks. 1. Identify routine tasks. 2. Determine how your routine tasks fit into larger processes. 3. Redesign your processes for efficiency. 4. Choose and implement suitable automation tools. 5. Monitor and refine your automated systems. Let's explore each of these steps in detail. Step number 1, identify routine tasks. The first step toward automation is to identify the routine tasks that consume your time and energy. Tank suggests that you track your daily activities for a week or 2, noting tasks that you perform repeatedly or that feel tedious and time-consuming. For example, you might identify creating weekly social media reports for your clients as a repetitive, time-consuming task that you'd rather avoid. Then consider which of these tasks, if automated, would free up the most time and energy. You'll prioritize these tasks for automation. Step 2. Determine how your routine tasks fit into larger processes. Once you've identified the tasks you want to automate, pinpoint how these tasks fit into larger, more intricate work processes. This involves outlining all the steps that occur before, during, and after your task. According to Tank, this approach helps you design automations that improve not just individual tasks but entire work processes, leading to greater overall efficiency. It does this by offering 3 insights. 1. It reveals interconnections and dependencies. Understanding how a task connects to other activities helps you understand its impact. It also helps you define how your task relies on inputs from other tasks. For example, you may realize that your social media reporting process is connected to your content creation, client communication, and billing processes. 2. It uncovers hidden inefficiencies. Looking at the bigger picture often reveals redundancies or bottlenecks that aren't apparent when focusing on a single task. For example, you may discover that you're duplicating efforts by manually collecting the same data from multiple platforms for each client report. 3. It prevents unintended consequences. Automating a task without considering its place in the larger process could disrupt other parts of the process. For example, automating your reporting process without considering how it affects your content creation schedule could lead to misaligned posting times and reduce engagement. How to create a thorough process outline. According to business strategy experts, simply outlining the steps that occur before, during, and after your task won't help you fully understand your processes. They recommend creating a more thorough outline. In addition to all of the steps each task involves, they suggest people-centered actions. 1. Identify the people responsible for each step. This allows you to understand who impacts which parts of the process, helping you uncover unforeseen bottlenecks or dependencies. For example, you may discover that the accuracy of your social media reports depends on a single data analyst who compiles and verifies all data. 2. Define what triggers each person to take action. Seeing the cause and effect within your process can shed light on non-obvious inefficiencies, such as unnecessary actions prompted by certain triggers. For example, say the data analyst generates a full report whenever there's a maybe in this minor forecast fluctuation in follower counts. This could indicate a trigger that prompts potentially unnecessary work. 3. Describe what each person does. Grasping the specifics of each person's role helps you visualize all of the individual actions that contribute to your process. For example, understanding the hands-on tasks the data analyst performs, like manually extracting data from different platforms or rechecking figures to ensure accuracy, highlights intricate aspects of the reporting process that you might otherwise overlook. Step 3. Redesign processes for efficiency. Once you understand how your tasks fit into larger processes, plan ways to make these overarching processes as efficient as possible. This process will remove redundant tasks, making it easier to convert them into automated workflows. Tank suggests that answering the following 4 questions will reveal ways to streamline your processes. 1. Are there any duplicate or unnecessary steps that can be removed? For example, you might be manually entering the same client information into both your accounting software and your project management tool, a redundant step that can be eliminated by setting up automatic data sync between the two systems. Sidebar. According to Jeff Sutherland, Scrum, one way to identify redundant tasks is to seek out tasks or activities that cost more than they are worth. For example, manually cross-checking every entry in a large database might cost more in time and effort than the few errors it catches. 2. Are there ways to simplify specific steps or interactions? For example, you might create a single dashboard that displays all your clients' social media metrics in one place, instead of logging into multiple platforms to gather this information. Sidebar. Don Norman, The Design of Everyday Things, adds that focusing on user experiences can help identify tasks that need to be simplified. This involves observing how people interact with your current system and noting where they struggle. These pain points often reveal overly complex steps. For example, if users frequently misfile reports in a labyrinthine folder structure, simplifying to a tag-based system could improve efficiency and reduce errors. 3. Are there ways to standardize the process or to create rules to handle different scenarios? For example, you might create a standard set of data visualization templates for different types of social media metrics, engagement rates, follower growth, post reach, to quickly generate appropriate charts for various aspects of your reports. Sidebar. Some data. Scientists recommend using decision trees to standardize processes involving multiple scenarios. These visual diagrams guide users through a series of questions, each answer leading to a specific action or next step. For complex tasks, this approach ensures consistency and reduces errors by providing a clear path forward for each possible situation. 4. Are there ways to build flexibility into your automation system so it can adapt to changing needs? For example, you might use a modular approach when creating report templates, allowing you to easily add or remove sections based on individual client preferences without redesigning the entire report. Sidebar. Nassim Nicholas Taleb, Antifragile, suggests that you can maintain adaptability by incorporating multiple pathways to achieve the same outcome. For example, you might use automated and manual methods to gather data. While this approach may seem to contradict the goal of streamlining, it enhances long-term efficiency by reducing vulnerability to unexpected changes or disruptions. Step only use and implement suitable automation tools. Once you have a clear idea of how you can streamline your processes, research and implement automation software appropriate for your specific needs. Tank provides 5 recommendations for choosing suitable tools. 1. Start small. 2. Use existing resources. 3. Assess carefully. 4. Test thoroughly. 5. Expand gradually. Let's take a look at each of these recommendations. Recommendation number 1. Start small. Begin by automating a single simple process. According to Tank, this allows you to learn and build confidence before tackling more complex automations. For example, begin by automating just the data collection part of your reporting process using a social media management tool's built-in reporting feature. Sidebar: to choose a small automation task, rank your routine tasks by frequency and simplicity. Then start with the most frequent, simplest tasks. For example, automate data collection from the platform you use most often. Recommendation number 2, use existing resources. Many common software tools, such as email clients or project management systems, have built-in automation features. Tanks suggests exploring how you can leverage these features before investing in new tools. For example, perhaps your current social media management platform can automatically send reports to clients at specified intervals. Sidebar: Cal Newport, Digital Minimalism, adds that evaluating how you can leverage existing software creates a more focused digital environment. He explains that relying on multiple programs creates digital clutter that scatters attention and decreases productivity. Using the built-in features of existing software reduces the number of tools you need to manage, improving focus and efficiency. Recommendation number 3, assess carefully. When choosing new tools, Tanks advises considering factors like ease of use, integration capabilities with existing resources, and cost to ensure they fit your specific needs. For example, you might rate each social media reporting tool on criteria such as data import capabilities, customization options, and pricing tiers. Sidebar: Maria Konikova, Mastermind, warns that even when we believe we're assessing criteria carefully, we often think on autopilot, relying on mental shortcuts that can lead to mistakes. To counter this problem, she recommends using checklists. Checklists force you to think consciously, reducing the risk you'll overlook crucial details that may impact your assessment. Recommendation number 4, test thoroughly. Before fully implementing an automation, Tank suggests that you test it rigorously to ensure it works as intended and doesn't introduce new problems. For example, you might run your new automated reporting system in parallel with your manual process for a month to ensure accuracy and completeness. Sidebar: Matthew Syed, Black Box Thinking, recommends using random control trials, RCTs, to run tests. To run an RCT, establish a control and introduce a variable to measure its impact against that of the control. For example, randomly assign half your clients to receive automated reports while manually creating reports for the other half. Then compare the results between the two groups to quantify the automation's impact. Recommendation number 5, expand gradually. As you become more comfortable with automation, Tank advises that you gradually apply it to more processes in your work. For example, after successfully automating your social media reporting, you might expand the system to automatically generate content performance insights based on the report data. Sidebar: if you have a long list of potential automations and feel uncertain about which to implement first, use a prioritization matrix to assess and rank them. This business analysis tool helps you objectively rate and compare your options according to the criteria you choose, such as how easy they'll be to implement, how many other processes they'll affect, or which ones have the best chances of success. Step number 5, monitor and refine your automated systems. After you implement automation, there's still work to be done. Tank emphasizes that automation is an ongoing process of continuous improvement. By regularly reviewing and refining your automated processes, you can ensure they continue to save you time and enhance your productivity as your work evolves. Tank offers the following advice for achieving this. First, determine how you'll measure the success of each automation. For example, if you want to spend 50% less time creating social media reports, you can measure the success of your automated solution by tracking and comparing the time you spend on them before and after implementing automation. Sidebar: Ash Moria, Running Lean, suggests prioritizing outcome metrics over output metrics to measure success. Outcome metrics gauge the results you achieve, measuring the actual outcomes of your efforts. Output metrics focus on the actions you take without capturing the tangible results of those actions. For example, instead of tracking the number of automated reports sent, an output metric measure the increase in client satisfaction resulting from the improved reporting and outcome metric. Second, schedule regular reviews and gather feedback from relevant team members and clients to assess how your automations are performing. For example, set up a quarterly survey for your clients to rate the clarity and usefulness of the automated reports using their feedback to guide improvements. Sidebar: you may receive a diverse range of feedback, suggesting the need for many improvements. However, Hans Rosling, Factfulness, explains that in most datasets, 80% of the results come from 20% of the causes, meaning that a few key factors drive the majority of effects. So it's likely that implementing just a few strategic changes will address numerous areas of feedback and enhance automation performance. Finally, build in flexibility so that you can adjust your automations to accommodate process changes or fix any errors that arise. For example, you might create a system that can easily add new social media platforms and implement a version control system that rolls back to a previous version if an error occurs. Sidebar: you'll find it easier to pinpoint what types of changes you need to accommodate if you create a comprehensive record of your testing process, the one you used in step number 3, and the feedback you collate by systematically documenting insights, including both successful outcomes and unexpected results. You can analyze patterns and make informed decisions about potential modifications you might need to implement. Tank argues that leveraging automation tools can free up time and mental resources for more meaningful work. This exercise walks you through his 5-step process for automating routine tasks. Think about repetitive, time-consuming activities you perform regularly. Write down one task that, if automated, would free up a lot of your time and energy. Consider the steps that occur before and after your chosen task. Briefly outline the entire process. Reflect on how you might streamline or simplify the steps you outlined above. Write down at least one way to make the process more efficient. Determine what factors you'll assess to choose an appropriate automation tool. Write down at least 2 criteria. Finally, consider how you'll measure the success of your automated tool. Write down at least one metric you'll track and how often you'll review it.